KT Educare, where values, discipline, health and hygiene, right education, and the right way to live life is imbibed in every student.
The success mantra at KT: be the change to change the world.
Hi everyone. So today we are going to discuss a very simple and the most scoring sum, which is from the topic of statistics. You know, statistics is very much required in our day-to-day life, because when you watch a cricket match or a football match, you see the stats of all the players, right? So you see what's the mean average score, what is the batting run rate, bowling run rate, you know, all those things, whatever you see, that is all because of stats only. So the base of the stats that we are going to start and we are going to understand today is about how to find out mean average, basically. So how to find out the mean score. We have already seen how to find out the mean score for ungrouped data. Today we are going to discuss about how to find out the average mean score for grouped data. Okay, so when I'm talking about group data, you can see the question is there in front of you. It states the table gives the information of frequency distribution of weekly wages of 150 workers. It is giving the frequency distribution of weekly wages, that is weekly earning of 150 workers of a company. And the table is in front of you. You can see the first column is weekly wages in INR, rupees, Indian rupee. That is 1,000 to 2,000, 2,000 to 3,000, 3,000 to 4,000, and 4,000 to 5,000. This kind of table is called as continuous data, continuous group data, because there is continuity, 1,000 to 2,000, then the next column starts from 2,000 to 3,000. Okay, now the number of workers are also given to us. So what does this table tells us? First is that what we need to understand. The table very clearly indicates that when I say that there are 25 workers who are getting weekly wages in the range of 1,000 to 2,000. So probably one worker may be having a wage of 1,000 rupees, second may be having 1,500, or there may be few workers, 4 to 5 workers who may be having the wages of 1,300 or 1,700 or 2,000. On an average, there are totally 25 workers whose weekly earning lies between 1,000 to 2,000. Okay, 45 workers whose weekly earning lies between 2,000 to 3,000, and so on. The table is given to us, and the question is very clear. Find the mean of weekly wages. Mean in the sense, when we consider total number of workers, what is the weekly wage that the company is paying to these workers? That is what we are going to understand, and we want to know about it. So that is, let us say how to find out, because in the question it is not specified exactly how are we supposed to find out which method we are supposed to use. So with this one question, I am going to explain you 3 different methods to find out the mean of any given data. Now, which are those 3 methods? The very first method that I can say is called as direct method. Direct method is the simplest way to find out the mean, right? Then there is a second method which is known as assumed mean method. Assumed mean method. And the last, one more method, which is known as step deviation method. Now you may question me that Professor, why do we need these 3 methods actually? Why can't we directly have one simple method to find out the mean for any kind of tabular data given to us? Okay, please keep this question in mind, because I'm going to explain you why 3 different methods, and for which kind of tabular data, which method is more prevalent that you can use it and get to the final answer. Okay, so we are going to have a very wonderful and fun full session. Okay, focus properly, because when you are not focusing or you get distracted by various things, then you won't be able to understand. But if you focus on my lectures very clearly, I can vouch your 80% of the learning will happen during my lecture hour itself. 20% is what you'll have to put in efforts to do regular revision and more practice. Okay, so let's come down to direct method, assume mean method, step deviation method. 3 methods are there, and on this board space we are short of space, but I want to show you all 3 methods in the same space which is there with us. Okay, so the very first method we come to as direct method to find out the mean. Now, be it any method, the first 2 columns are going to be the same. The table that we are going to make, the first 2 columns are going to be the same. The first column is going to be for class interval, second column is going to be for frequency. Now, what is class interval? The class interval is a range of the weekly earnings over here. That is called as class interval. And what is frequency? Frequency is the number of workers that we are going to take down over here. Okay, so let us take the first data, that is your weekly wages. I will write over here as class interval. Okay, and number of workers, I'm going to write them down as frequency. So frequency I denote by the letter small f with a subscript I, small I. I stands for F1 to F final. That means whatever is the total number of workers, so starting from first worker to the last worker, that is the value of I. Okay, from 1 to, maybe if it is 200 workers, so 1 to 200 is the value of I. Okay, now what is our class interval? Our class interval is 1000 to 2000, 2000 to 3000. I'll use some space over here. So we'll take it a little lower. 2000 to 3000 is my second class interval. 3000 to 4000 is my third class interval. And 4000 to 5000 is my fourth class interval. Pay attention. Okay, what's the frequency of workers? For the first class interval it is 25. Second class interval it is 45. Third class interval 50, and fourth class interval 30. With this data, we also come to understand that maximum workers in this company are in the range between 2000 to 4000. Because 2000 to 3000 salary 45 workers are getting, and 3000 to 4000 50 workers are getting. That means 95 workers are getting the salary between the range 2000 to 4000. So looking at the data also, I can say that the mean weekly wage of this particular question should fall between 2000 to 4000 only, because maximum number of workers are between this range. Okay, let's check out. So what did I say? The mean should fall between 2000 to 4000. I'll note down over here so that you can verify later on. Okay, that's my assumption. Assumption mean, which I am assuming is between the range 2000 to 4000. That is the assumed mean I am taking into consideration by guessing the data. I mean, you can definitely see how correct that particular answer comes down to. Okay, so the first 2 columns are very clear, class interval and frequency, and these 2 columns remain same, be it any method, be it direct method, assume mean method, or step deviation method. The first 2 columns are going to be same only. In fact, the third column is also going to be the same. And what is the third column? Third column is called as the class mark, or we can also call it as mid mark, which is denoted by small letter x with the subscript I. Now what is this class mark or mid mark? Class mark or mid mark is the middle value of your lower limit and upper limit. What's lower limit and upper limit? When you have your class interval, the lowest value is called as the lower limit, the upper value is called as the upper limit. So here 1000 is the lower limit, 2000 is the upper limit, 2000 is the lower limit, 3000 is the upper limit. In the next class interval, 3000 is the lower limit, 4000 is the upper limit, so and so on. And class mark is actually the average of the lower limit and upper limit. Okay, average means 2000 plus 1000 divided by 2. So 3000 divided by 2, that is going to be 1500. So either you can say that class mark is nothing but the average of the lower limit and upper limit, or the mid value of lower and upper limit. Between 1000 and 2000, which is the mid value between 1000 and 2000? It's definitely 1500. Which is the mid value between 2000 and 3000? It is going to be 2500, right? The mid value between 3000 and 4000, 3500. And the mid value between 4000 and 5000, that is 4500. Even if you find out the average, 4000 plus 5000 is 9000, and 9000 divided by 2 is going to give you 4500. So the class mark or the mid mark is nothing but the average of the class interval, average of each class interval, okay, or the mid value of each of the class interval. So we got Ci, we got frequency, we got Xi. Now it is this Xi and the Fi value based on which we take a call which method to use. Since the value of Xi is very large and the frequency is also decently good enough, a big number, okay, it's not like 1, 2, 5 or 7, not within 10, about 10, and my mid mark is more than 100, I mean it's into thousands. So looking at the class mark and the frequency, I would directly say that I should go for step deviation method. Why? Because it will make my calculation easier. Okay, but I'm going to show you all the three methods. So let us first of all find out, using the direct method, what is the average mean. So direct method, these are the three columns that we do, and the next column comes as Fixi. That is your frequency multiplied by Xi, the class mark you're supposed to multiply. So let's do the multiplication. I'm going to show you the trick of the multiplication also. You know how to do it orally and quickly. So these are two zeros. In each case, I will just put the two zeros as it is. And I'm going to multiply 25 into 15, 45 into 25, 15 into 35, 30 into 45. Now here 50 and 30 also I've got one more zero. So that also I will add over here, because I'll just multiply 5 into 35 and 5 into 45. Okay. So we're going to look at how to do the multiplication. If you know the tables from 1 to 10, okay, then you know the tables from 1 to 99 or say 100. Very easily you can do that calculation, and that also I am going to show you over here. Let's do the multiplication. The first multiplication is 25 multiplied by 15. 25 into 15. How do we multiply 25 into 15? So 15, I'm going to break it into two parts, 10 and 5. So 25 tens are 250, 25 5s are 125, 125 plus 250 is nothing but 375. So 25 into 15 is 375. So that is my answer over here. Okay. Next I go for 45 into 25. Oh, that's a 2-digit into 2-digit number. So you should know the table of 25. If you know the table of 25, you can easily multiply it. 25 5s is 125, 5 over here, and 20 carry, 25 4s is 100, and 100 plus 12. So that is 112. So that's 1,12,500. You see how big the number is and how big the calculation is. Imagine this multiplication, if you have to do in the rough column, it's going to be time consuming, right? So let's multiply 35 into 5. So 35s are 150, 5 5s are 25. 150 and 25 is 175. So that is 175. And 3 into 45. So 43s are 120, 5 3s are 15. 120 plus 15 is again 135. That's my values. If there is any calculation error, we will check it out during the final calculation. I'm explaining and at the same time doing the calculation as well. Okay. Human errors, okay, possible. But let's see. Now after this, what you're supposed to do? You're supposed to find out the sum of Fixi and the sum of frequency. Now what is the sum of frequency? Let us see. That sum of frequency is denoted by this symbol. This symbol is called as summation of. Summation of means sum of Fi is equal to how much? That's 20, 40, 60, 60 and 50, 110 and 30, 140 and 10, 150. Actually, I did not add all this because they've already mentioned in the question also that there are 150 workers, right? So you can directly mention. And second, I'm going to find out summation of Fixi. That is the addition of all these four data. So let us add all of them. So I'll be getting 5, 5, 10, that's 0 and 1 carried, 7, 8, 9, 10 and 5, 15 and 5, 20, again 0 and 2 carried, 5 and 6 and 7, 13, 3, 16, 6, 1 carried, 1, 2, 3 and 4. My goodness, such a big number. 4,60,000 is the summation of FI/XI. So now we've got summation of FI, we've got summation of FI/XI. Summation of FI/XI is 4,60,000. Summation of FI is 150. Let us find out the mean by direct method. So the mean by direct method is sum x bar, this is the symbol for mean, is equal to summation of FI/XI over summation of Fi. That is the formula. So you do summation of FI/XI divided by summation of Fi. That will give you the mean, that is 460,000 divided by 150. When you cancel this and do the calculation, you will get rupees 3,066.67. You round it off. So here also again you will have to do this division, which is a bigger calculation although, right? So again that's time consuming. Here you consume time in finding out FI/XI. That's the column that comes in direct mean method. Okay, so why do we not prefer this method to find out the mean wage of the worker? Because of the calculation part, because that's time consuming. So how do we reduce this calculation? How do we reduce that time consuming? We can go for assume mean method and see whether we get an ease and relaxation in the calculation. Okay, so in assume mean method, what happens? The first three columns remain same. Your CI, frequency, class mark. But this FI/XI column will not come in assume mean method. Instead of FI/XI, I'll be introducing two columns in assume mean method. One is the value of DI. DI is equal to XI minus AA. Now what is this A? This A is nothing but the assumed mean. This is what is called as assumed mean. So in assumed mean method, my A stands for assumed mean, and then this is the A which I am going to take. Now what is this A exactly? A is, as the word suggests, assumed mean. So we are going to consider out of this XI, any one value you can take it as the value of A. You can take 1,500 as A, or 4,500 as A, or 3,500 as A, any one value. But to make the calculation easier, consider any middle value as the value of A. So let us take 2,500 as the value of A. So I am considering here, let my value of A be 2,500. Okay, so if my value of A is 2,500, I will be finding out all the D values for each of the class interval. And what is DI? DI is nothing but XI minus A. XI means 1,500 minus 2,500, that will give me minus 1,000. 2,500 minus 2,500, that will give me 0. Then 3,500 minus 2,500, that will give me plus 1,000, and 4,500 minus 2,500 will give me plus 2,000. These are the four values of DI that I get, and after this I add the column FI DI. So these are the two columns that come in assume mean method. One is your DI, and the second one is your FIDI. Now why this is easier? Because see, in direct method you are multiplying FI/XI. 25 into 1500, that's a big calculation. 45 into 2500, again a big calculation. But here you will do FIGI, so 25 into 1000, pretty simple to do. That's minus 25,000 because there is a negative sign over here. And 45 into 0, wow. Where I was multiplying 45 to 2,500, I am going to multiply 45 into 0 simply. So that is going to give me 0. And 50 into 1000, that's plus 50,000. And 30 into 2000 is plus 60,000. Correct? And after this, I am going to find out summation of Fi di. What is the value? 50 minus 25 is 25,000. 25 plus 60 is 85,000 is my summation of Fi di. Okay, so what I get over here is summation of Fi di and I have summation of Fi. The formula for assume mean method changes slightly. The formula for assume mean method will be x bar is equal to summation of Fi di upon summation of Fi. Instead of Fi xi, it is going to be Fi di. And one more short addition, because we have subtracted assume mean method over here, the assume mean value minus a. So here in the mean, you will add that value to the final answer so that you get the right value for it. Let's check. Summation of Fi di is 85,000 divided by 150 plus my assumed mean is 2,500. When I do the calculation, 8,500 divided by 50, that should give me 360, no, not 300, 5. So 566.67 plus 2,500, and I get my assumed mean as again rupees 3,066.67. The same value. You see, whether I use direct method or assume mean method, I am getting the same answer. But assume mean method is going to be faster than direct method because here I did not have to multiply higher values, but here I have to multiply higher values, addition of higher values, that is time consuming. Again, then division of higher values, that's time consuming. So I used my assume mean method and got the answer as 3066.67. Correct? So you saw the two methods. The first method is the direct mean method, which we did just now. The second method is the assume mean method, which we did just now. Still, I will strongly recommend for such a value where my Fi and Xi is very, very high, I will go for step deviation method. Step deviation method is the third and the final method to find out the average mean in case of a grouped data. Okay. Now, what is step deviation method and which columns will come in step deviation method? Definitely Fi Xi is not going to come because that column is for direct mean. Di will definitely be there in the column of step deviation method, but Fi di is not going to be there. So when we go for step deviation method, I will have my first column as di is equal to xi minus a. I am writing it in pink because that value we already have, where I have considered my a as 2,500 and I got the values as minus 1,000, 0, then I got plus 1,000 and then I got plus 2,000. So this column is going to be there in my step deviation method, but not Fi di. And after di, there will be two more columns that will get added in the step deviation method. Now, which are those columns? We will consider now over here some different value. That's what we are going to learn and understand. So do not get confused. Direct method, we had class interval, Fi, Xi, Fi, Xi. Assume mean method, we will have class interval, Fi, Xi, Di, Fi, Di. And now step deviation method, we will have class interval, Fi, Xi, Di, and then further we are going to see, we are going to have one more very good column which will be called as Ui. Okay, I can take any variable actually, but generally I am taking Ui, which is equal to Di over G, which is equal to Di over G. And now what is this G? That's what we are going to discuss, and how to find out the mean using step deviation method. We are going to look at it. So please stay focused for another 10 minutes and our lecture will be done for all the three methods of finding the arithmetic mean for a tabulated grouped data. So let's understand now how to find out the mean using the step deviation method. So what is this G actually? Ui is equal to Di upon G. The value of Di I already have it. But what is this G? G, or some places in some books it is also referred to as H. Okay, h or g, any variable can be used, but h or g is nothing but the difference between the lower limit and the upper limit. The value of g or the variable h, some places when we use, is nothing but the difference between the lower limit and the upper limit. What is the difference between lower limit and upper limit? If you see at the table, the difference between lower and upper limit is nothing but 1000. Between 1000 and 2000, the difference is 1000. 2000 and 3000, the difference is 1000. 3000 and 4000, the difference is 1000. So the difference is 1000. So I am going to consider my value of g over here is nothing but 1000. So what I am going to do? My each value of di I am going to divide by 1000. That's so simple. Correct? Now 1000 divided by 1000 is minus 1. 0 divided by 1000 is 0. 1000 divided by 1000 is 1. And 2000 divided by 1000 is 2. Bravo. See, the UI value got reduced to so small value, minus 1, 1, 2. So my third column, which is going to come down over here, is going to be nothing but FIUI. So instead of FIXI or FIDI, I am going to have over here FIUI. Okay, so I am going to multiply my frequency with the value of UI, which is pretty simple. What I am going to multiply? I am going to multiply 25 by minus 1. Where in direct mean method, I was multiplying 25 by 1500. In assume mean method, I multiplied 25 by 1000. But in step deviation method, I am multiplying 25 by directly minus 1. So you are understanding how easy calculation you are making. So 25 into minus 1 is minus 25. 45 into 0 is 0. Right? Don't make a mistake by writing 45. Okay? Focus. 50 into 1 is nothing but 50, and 30 into 2 is nothing but 60. And I am going to find out summation of FIUI. What is my summation of FIUI? Simple. 50 minus 25 is 25. 25 plus 60 is 85. So I got summation of FIUI. Now I will come down to the formula for step deviation method. The formula is x bar is equal to summation of FIUI upon summation of FI. So instead of FIDI, I am having FIUI upon summation of FI. Because I divided by G first, here I will multiply this fraction by G. Because I subtracted A, I will add A. So that's the difference in the formula. If you look at direct mean method, x is equal to summation of FIXI upon FI. In assume mean method, x is equal to FIDI upon FI plus A. Okay, plus A is additional and FIDI comes in over here. And in step deviation method, it is summation of FIUI upon FI into G plus A. So that will give you the arithmetic mean of the given sum with the help of step deviation method. Let's see whether we get the same answer or no. Okay, so this is summation of FIUI is nothing but 85 upon 150 into G is 1000 plus my assumed mean was 2500, because assumed mean A is 2500. I have taken that, correct? So let's do the calculation. So I get here 8500 upon 15 plus 2500. Isn't it the same calculation? 8500 upon 15 plus 2500, almost the same calculation. So that's bravo. We got the same answer, 566.67 plus 2500. That is equal to rupees 3066.67. So I am getting my the average mean score by using step deviation method. So you see, all three methods I have shown you on the board over here: the direct method, the assume mean method, the step deviation method. Again, and if you look at the answers, all three answers are same. You do by any method. So in the examination, when they give you the question, they will definitely specify with which method you are supposed to do. But in case if no method is mentioned, then you need to take a call which method will you use to find out the mean score. And how to take a call on that? By looking at the value of Fi and Xi. See, understand, I will box this particular column which is common in all the three methods. In all the three methods, this column, these three columns are common. They are going to be there. In all the three methods. These three columns are going to be there as it is. Okay, so in direct method or assumed mean method or step deviation method, Ci, Fi, Xi is going to be there. So look at Fi and Xi value. If your Fi and Xi values are pretty high, okay, so then you can go with assumed mean method. And if they are very, very high, steep high, then go by step deviation method. And again, to brush up, what is the difference? In direct mean method, you have only one column, Fi, Xi, that gets added to these three columns. In assumed mean method, Fi, Xi column will not come, but Di will come into practice. So Di is equal to Xi minus A, and Fi Di column will come in. The formula comes down as mean is equal to Fi Di over Fi plus A. And in step deviation method, Fi Di column will not come. Okay. After Di, we will directly jump to Ui, that is Di upon G. What is G? G is nothing but the difference between the lower limit and the upper limit, and then you multiply Ui into Fi. You get Fi Ui, and your formula is summation of Fi Ui over summation of Fi into G plus A. That gives you the arithmetic mean. And you see, all the three means are in my assumed mean range only. So I hope I have been helpful in explaining you all three methods using one sum. I mean, we could have done it one by one separately, three different sums also, but the idea over here was to understand the concept. Why three different methods, and how in your practical real life application any one of these methods could be useful to find out the mean, right? So see you till the time. Watch this video again and again. If you don't understand it twice or thrice, you'll definitely understand it, and practice each and every sum. You take solve at least 2 to 3 sums of each method, so you'll get hands-on on every method. And the formulas are pretty simple, which I told you how to remember, because here minus A, we add A. Here divide by G, we multiply by G, and minus A, we add A. That's the difference in the formula. See you till then. Goodbye, and have a nice math day and a math year of fun. Thank you.
हम है ना
हम है ना
हम है ना
हम है ना
हम है ना